Don't mind. We're going to the bedroom now. When it comes to the bedroom, there's something a lot of us would really like to do.
Yes, 1 in 5 of us would love to do it, but only if our partner suggested it first.
And 1 in 20 would suggest it, but no, our partners would say no.
It's the delicate issue of sleeping in separate beds. Hardeep's in Cooley's been to meet the couples who've turned their backs on pillow talk.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream, bum 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 bum, begin the cutest that I've ever seen. Bum bum bum.
Are you fed up of not getting a good night's sleep? Does your other half snore uncontrollably? Do they spend the whole night fidgeting? Well, I've got just the thing for you. Separate beds! Sleeping in separate beds is back in fashion. A recent survey showed that 1/3 of us prefer to sleep apart for a better night's sleep. Here on The One Show, we wanted to try an experiment. We've asked a couple to split up, hopefully not for good. For the next week, they'll be sleeping in separate beds. We'll find out whether they slept like babies or had nightmares.
I sometimes have trouble sleeping, and as a result, I don't want to disturb Francesca, so I'll go into the spare bedroom.
I'd like for it to be proved that it's not my fault when you have a bad night's sleep.
Is there much of a social stigma attached to sleeping apart?
Yes, very much so. I think there's a very powerful sort of expectation that if you're in a relationship, you sleep in the same bed. And I've spoken to people, we've done studies where they say, we slept apart and the kids came in and said, Mum and Dad, what's wrong? You're getting a divorce. Some people would say it's all about comfort and security. But I think just somewhere along the line, historically and culturally, we've come to see it as normal that couples, people in a relationship, would share a bed. It's a sign of intimacy.
David and Greta are ahead of the game. They've slept in separate beds for years. In fact, it's so central to their lives that they designed their new house around the idea.
Well, this is my room. I know it's big, but I love it.
Well, you can see this is my room, a bit smaller than Greta's, but it suits me to have a small room.
I was woken up constantly by David's snoring. He also fidgets a lot. I think he's playing for Chelsea.
It's better to sleep and be comfortable, and I couldn't do that if we were together, unfortunately. But we've got the landing and we meet on there and it's very nice.
Well, the bonuses have been that I get a good night's sleep. I mean, before I didn't.
I can't see any downside in doing it. It just makes both of us feel more contented and relaxed if we do have our own space.
Let's have a look at our video diaries and see how our couple is getting on.
Last night I had a great night's sleep. Didn't wake up once, which has happened a few times now since we started sleeping in separate beds.
While I'm asleep, it's not like I'm going to miss you because I'm fast asleep, so it's just nice you can roll over and you don't bother anybody else.
And our One Show guinea pigs, they're not the only ones. Oh no, the Queen apparently has been doing it for years. And so, allegedly, have Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. And Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise. It's mad, isn't it? Who'd not want to sleep with Tom Cruise? He's so gorgeous. A recent survey claimed that men get a better night's sleep away from their partners. Will that be the experience of Fran and Sean?
It'd be good to get back to sharing the same bed. It just doesn't seem right, really, saying night to each other in the hallway.
I would say it was a difference sleeping on your own without your partner, and it is much easier to sleep. Whether I like it is another thing, really.
The complexity which couples go through is that pull of we should sleep in the same bed together, but chances are if we sleep apart we're going to sleep better, and it's somehow balancing that sort of contradiction or dilemma, and I think that sums it up wonderfully.
So, it would seem sleeping separately not only gives you a better night's sleep, it can improve your relationship. You to the spare room.
Paul and Hardeep are here with us, along with the sleep expert, Marianne Davey.
Yeah, Marianne, what do you make of all of this? Are there simple little things that we can do to try and prevent us having to go into the separate bedroom thing? Can we prevent snoring to start off with?
We certainly can prevent snoring, but actually some people like to sleep on their own because they're not disturbed by anything. And it's also a lifestyle choice. We like our space. You know, sometimes we like a separate bathroom. Same with sometimes we like a separate bedroom. So it's not just the snoring that puts people in the spare room. They perhaps prefer it.
Hardy, you'd sleep. Let's assume, common sense would suggest that you sleep better when you're on your own, but there's this stigma attached to it now. But did cavemen and women sleep together, or was this a more recent
they didn't, and neither do romantic losers. They invariably end up sleeping on their own too. And there's no shame in being unsuccessful in relationships. There is. But I think it's a relatively modern phenomenon, sleeping together, because in the 30s, if you remember the old films, same room but separate beds. And I think something changed sort of just after the war, I should imagine, and people felt obliged to sleep together. There's a lovely point, which is, from a woman's point of view, if you're in bed with a man, you know where he is. But from a caveman's point of view, you know, you're out hunting, gathering, or, you know, watching the football in prehistoric times. So, you know, that was your job. But I think given the change in lifestyle, for example, shift working, the fact that, you know, women have 2 or 3 jobs quite often, that TV runs after 11 o'clock. When we were kids, TV finished at 11, and there was no PC to set out till 4 in the morning on Facebook or other such things. So I think life's changing, and people are in pursuit of a better night's sleep.
Yes.
We've got some VT of some extremely bad sleepers. You wouldn't want to share the bed with any of these, however beautiful they were.
Oh, you.
No.
有个即时 some dreams 什么的。
Bed.
So I think you want a separate room there, but say you wanted to try and get yourself off to sleep, Paul. What, from a hypnotist point of view, if you like, can you hypnotise yourself?
You can relax yourself. Do you know, there's one very simple thing that comes out very well in the research, which is, by the way, first of all, everybody has some disruption to their sleep pattern at some time. But if you get up half an hour earlier than your regular waking time, that somehow, for many people, resets their body clock. There's a technique that I use with people, image streaming, where I get them to just close their eyes, relax, and describe everything that comes into their mind, but not out loud, silently. You know, so you close your eyes and think, I'm thinking of the summer's day, now I'm thinking of a record I like. Now, and you try and do it in the most monotonous voice.
You bore yourself to sleep.
And basically, by describing what's going on inside yourself in a boring tone of voice, you know, very few people can stay awake.
That's going to work a treat for me, because I'm very boring, I tell you. So,
you do follow West Bromwich Albion, so...
Don't even go there with that one.
Snoring then, Marion.
Yes. Yes, all of those things are really great, but if you're sleeping next to a snorer, you're not going to be able to think about anything except, for goodness sake, will you stop that noise? So we do try and help snorers, but the most important thing is if you want to stop snoring, you've got to find the cause of the problem first.
And we've got a brilliant fact sheet here for working out different kinds of snoring, and we'll put this on our website tomorrow. I mean, a quick tongue test, if you don't mind, because you look like a snorer, Hardy. Stick your tongue out as far as it will go and grip it between your teeth. Now try to make a snoring noise. And now put your tongue back in and do it again. Because you're louder with your tongue in, that means you are a tongue-based snorer.
Did you know that?
Just had a mouthful of phlegm as well.
Yes.
And this is what can help you.
This is what helps you. What it does, it goes into the mouth and it brings your lower jaw forward, and because your tongue is attached to your lower jaw, your tongue will come forward and it in effect gives you a bigger airway so the air doesn't vibrate the tongue up and down, causing the
And there's
snoring.
a number of other gadgets here, none of which we can insert into Hardeep's face at the
Not right
moment, because
now.
we've run out of
I've
time,
noticed,
sadly, but it would have been great. Hardeep, Marianne, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Paul, thanks very much indeed to you. Earlier, Paul was telling us how to be rich. Our Dom Littlewood's never short of a suggestion or two on that front. When it comes to money, Dom can always see the wood for the trees.